Hey everybody, it's a pretty special episode of Talkn Talkin' with me, one-on-one. We're going to be talking to Raven Chain and Jonathan Price of Sister Kill Cycle. If you know me, this is one of my very favorite bands of all time, and I hope you'll see why. We're going to have a great chat, so sit back, grab your beer, grab your joint, join us, and just chill out. It's a great interview to come. Kelly V. Hey everybody, it's Kelly V, the Pop Pixie here. I'm just waiting for my interviews to come. We'll be speaking today with Raven and Zero of Sister Kill Cycle. This is really exciting. I can't wait until people come on board. So just waiting for them to appear. I wonder if this is them messaging. So just waiting for everybody. So I guess you guys can help me roll a joint. I am rolling a big gagger for this one. I know Sean's going to show, Raven's going to show up, pardon me. Please forgive that. I know he's going to show up with probably a glass of wine and some pretty stellar lips to boot and outshine the whole show with those freaking lips. But he should be here momentarily. So I cannot wait to talk to these guys. Sister Kill Cycle has been one of my longest supporters, going back a very long time, and one of my very first shows that got hurricaned out because I have all the best luck in the world. But so very, very thankful for all their support all the way along. So hopefully they will be joining soon, as that is them pinging me on Messenger. Oh, I am out of filter material for my okay. Hello. We're connecting. And Jonathan as well. How are you? Oh,
I'm good. Are you there?
I'm here. We're waiting for Jonathan. It looks like he's connecting now as well. I don't see your video yet.
Yeah, let's see. Start video.
Yeah, it's at the bottom there. Ah, you figured it out. Hello, Zero. How are you? I introduced you guys already. Hi. Can you hear us? I don't think he has audio yet. What do you think?
Jonathan, you have audio? Zero?
And oh, wait.
Here we go.
I hear something. How are you doing though, brother? Anyways.
I'm doing pretty well tonight. Just got home from the normal work and now having some wine.
Yeah, well, I got my coffee going because that's that's what I live on. But
Doctored up coffee.
oh wait, we have audio, but we don't have sound. So I wonder how we can tell them to connect to sound there. Anyway, I'm not asked to unmute.
Here, we'll do it old school. I can.
There we go. Wait, we got it.
We got it. All right.
Hey Zero, how are you? Nice to finally meet you.
Oh, pleasure to meet you as well. Doing well. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Where are you located? Are you in Florida as well?
No, I'm currently out in the hills of the Santa Cruz Mountains in California. Out in Quarantineville, USA.
Yeah, we're going into hardcore phase 1 lockdown as of Christmas Eve. in Toronto. It's big panic. It's really stressful. How's it hitting you?
Oh yeah, like a ton of bricks. Yeah, well, it's kind of like, surfers kind of understand this notion. It's like, and you get rocked by a wave, and this year it's like, everybody's just trying to come up for air, and then right when you do, it's, next wave.
Exactly. We've been talking a lot about the vaccines on my show and the effect that that's going to have on the industry and the people who may be forced to have to take that stupid thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
Uh, uh, a few different variations. None of them I think is good about it. I don't know. It just beguiles me, I guess you could say, to think that people are completely compliant and okay with having the knowledge and understanding that, the flu vaccine, for example, that took about 10 years at least for them to create it to where it was at least 40% efficient, because like with those symptoms, everybody experiences the exact same thing. So
Right.
with something that is different between people, supposedly, you can't give everybody the same vaccine and get the same result, and every single result that they've been rolling out has been bad. And you rolled this out in 10 months. As
Yeah.
it's funny, for a lockdown period where nothing was open and nothing going on, people became, PhD masters in so many things.
Yeah, learn another language or just do nothing actually. I think I'm worried more about the depression. I'm worried more about the effect it's having on people. Just in my circle, there might have been a suicide over it recently that, found out today. And it's hitting people hard. But I know, Sean, you said last time that it's something you're definitely don't want to do. I know you don't want to do it, but have you reconsidered it to
No, absolutely not. Like I said, you know, and I don't want to get on here and I don't want to sound facetious. I don't want to sound like I'm the master and I know all,
Right.
because that's
Nobody
obviously
does.
not the case. However, um, I do know before coronavirus came about, like we've lived for hundreds of thousands of years with plagues and viruses and little nasty bugs that live in our eyelashes and bugs that live
Oh
inside us.
yeah, I had that fucked me
Um,
up for like a week. That
so I
one.
mean, I don't want to weird anybody out, but I mean, honestly, if we're gonna talk about things like this of this nature, you have to talk about things that we've already experienced, that we've already overcome, and look at it from a perspective of why exactly is this going on. Now,
Hmm.
I can lead you down a path that is it has nothing to do with political gain or this election or anything like that. So I'm going to try to refrain from doing that. However, with that being said, there's a reason why H1N1 came out and nothing, we didn't lock down, we didn't do anything. It was killing people like left and right. Um, all you have to do is get on Facebook and you'll see enough fear to make you want to like go in your house and never come out. And
I'm kind of in that state.
I think that's a part of what was meant to happen. I mean, if you will, I mean, conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. But I think this was more design than chance of
Hmm.
nature.
And what do you think the end game is supposed to be? If
Uh,
I feel maybe it's a natural occurring thing that got severely manipulated by powers that be in the wrong ways. But, if it was something that was manipulated or projected or caused by, to what end? Like to create a new world order?
I mean, how do you want, how do you want to take this interview on your show? And again, it, I have to say, I have reserve simply because the way things have been this year about actually speaking in terms of my personal beliefs on everything.
I was,
Simply because it can make you or break you this year for some
I
reason.
get,
You're
yeah.
not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to have an insightful conversation with somebody. It is strictly black and white. And, you know, if you don't believe me, fuck you. If you don't believe me, fuck you. And it's,
With
you
me or
know,
against me, yeah. And I actually, that point was actually brought up to me today because I've been running this theme now for like 4 weeks, is that it's really heavy and it could do just that. So if you're not comfortable sharing what you really think, then don't. I understand, but I kind of picked you as somebody just because I don't think you're afraid to
well,
speak what you think.
you,
But Jonathan, do you,
you know me. I mean, I put that disclaimer out there, but you know I don't give a fuck. You know I
yeah,
will speak
exactly.
my
I know.
mind.
I
I
know.
mean, anybody that's been to my Facebook account can see exactly how I feel.
Do you think the same thing though, Zero, that like this could make or break you as an artist in public perception? I say,
Oh, I think that's a really big thing right now, and the bad thing with trends over the years is we let more of the outside looking in elements become the judgment of, do we put water and food back into the tank? Do we, do we feed the animal on the other side that's entertaining me? And I mean, and a sad notion of it is right now you have to follow like the certain guideline, but it's not based on the industry or it's not based on the standards of approach. It's based on the view of society and the way they look at it. And there to certain degrees have been that, but to the extent of not being able to speak freely or not being able to, like Sean was saying, have an opinion on something that, yeah, it's going to be different. I mean, I'll tell you right now, back from July to August, I took probably more death threats and cancel cultures, and I was on more groups, I think, than I've actually been in bands in my entire life.
wow.
You got to see the dark side of the world this year.
Mhm,
And so
mhm.
right now, I think everybody's fail safe is to play the social get along game. So
Yeah.
you see it in like sports, and then you'll see it, like, when you go on your any social media platform, everybody kind of like, you look at who's on your friends list and you see what they talk about, and then you see the ones that aren't on your friends list or something like that, and you kind of start seeing like the screenshot shares, or because someone had an opinion about,
Yeah.
this president. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that people's voices and opinions are gonna they're going to someone's going to try and shut you up. Someone's going to try and silence you. Somebody's going to try and tell you that you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theory, or they'll give you every name in the book. But I think this is kind of the point now where people kind of have to hold on to that truth of themselves, and not let
Exactly. Yeah.
them. So I not to make that long-winded for the question that you asked, but as far as do I agree with do I believe that? Yes, one wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly. Does it make you afraid to speak your mind?
No, I honestly, because that was kind of a mental thing. I've kind of wondered for a minute when it first started coming out, because a lot of people that followed me and supported me for years, literally just completely 180'd on me, and like close
Yeah.
friends, people that I considered family. So, we as people just experienced this really, really dark time, from you think about it, you lock people inside their own homes, don't let them go to work, and you build up this maybe not even anger, but just you build ticking time bombs out of people, and
Yes.
then when you
Yes.
give them a reason to explode,
Yes.
everybody else takes the shrapnel.
So you guys are in both locations where rioting happened earlier in the year. People got out of control. I definitely see that's going to happen if we're forced to do anything.
Yeah.
Force is not the way to do it. Voluntary is the way to do it. And if
And that's
but
where that fear tactic comes in. You build fear, then people are going to, like the vaccine, for example. You push enough fear with this COVID and what's happening, and death toll numbers, and fake allegations that of hospitals being overran and full, and nobody's gonna be able to get a freaking
Well,
hospital bed and stuff like that. And then like, I kind of called it out in here in Santa Cruz, because in the Bay Area just like a week and a half ago, our governor here, Mr. Nuisance, uh,
Nuisance.
that's great. That's perfect.
but he
That's
was,
what that
they pushed in California, that no hospitals are overran and stuff like that. And I wanted to go get my, finger checked, and I had a doctor's appointment set up and everything, and I already did the Zoom meeting and everything like that. So I called the hospital and I was like, hey, I'm getting all over the news that you guys don't even have hospital beds. Like, am I still gonna be able to come in and get my finger looked at? And the lady laughed at me. Well, not directly at me, but she chuckled in the background. She said, yes, perfectly fine. We have more than enough room. Come on in.
I mean,
So
I personally, in the start in March, I had flown from the States to Canada to get medical treatment the week it hit. On the plane ride over, they closed my cancer kidney place on the plane, and we're like, now you have nowhere to come. Like, now I'm stuck here. So I do see the shortening of bed space availability when I go, but um yeah, it's so hard to talk about. I'm just scared about, the fact that if you get on a plane, or you want to get on the bus, or you want to get on the subway, or you want to go somewhere, now you have to have the shot. That it's not just
Yeah,
going to be
and
gathering in public places. It won't just be restaurants. It'll be things we need for life.
let's
and that's where
see.
that fear was
I
coming
actually
from.
I have an update on that actually.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see it on camera. I'm going to blow it up. This is actually somebody that I know, so I'm going to hide his face. Um, okay, let's see if I can. Camera will show,
Oh,
please.
wait, maybe go down a little bit. Move it down a
No,
little.
that's the information is.
Oh, I can't see that. No,
All right. If there was a way I could send this, it's actually an official COVID-19 vaccination record card from the Mayo Clinic in Florida, lot EH9699, expiration date 3/20/21, Pfizer COVID-19, date given 12/21/2020.
that's
It
really
is
scary.
it is it's a realistic thing now. There's no
Yeah.
more question. Is it going to exist? Are they going to do this?
Yes.
Yes, they
So
are.
now the question is it going to be needed to go to the store to get food? Is it going to be needed to, because now you're forcing people to use it to access life.
Yeah, from what I understand, just on the basis of this person, um, it is going to be needed to get on any airplane. It's going to be needed to travel not only out of this country, but internally in this country. And from what I understand, talking to him, it's they're going to implement it to travel out of your home state.
Okay, now those things I don't really have a problem with per se. That's
Why?
pr-
Why
I
is
mean
that?
I
I
mean
mean,
if
see, now let me just interject for a second. Now you're just looking at the big picture and the fear of it, and you're like, okay, I get it. I
no,
don't have a big problem
no,
with that.
no. When you're talking about traveling from one place to another, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? This is where our problems lies in the transference of it. If you know you want to, I still talked to somebody yesterday who said it's not real. It's not real.
I mean, the virus is definitely real.
Real.
They would have not subscribed to this big of a show if there
They
was
couldn't
not
have.
some substance to it.
Yes. Do you
However,
agree with
what they
that
what
too, Zero? That it's real?
With the COVID thing, yeah, no, definitely that it's a real thing. I mean, like, there's been a huge, we've seen with news media wouldn't run something this long, that would be falsified, or something that was just, fake, because there would be just too much behind it, too much wind behind it, that somebody's just looking to call bullshit. I mean, look at the world we live in right now. So, I mean, it's definitely a thing,
Sorry.
but even back in 2001, they had made this statement. I'll never forget this. After the World Trade Center got hit, they said that you can't let a good crisis go to waste.
Yes. Yes.
And so I
Yes.
think what has been done in the name of COVID-19, I think is the fear virus became bigger than the actual virus.
I agree with
Um,
that. And I know, Sean, your point probably to interject on me was the fact that why would I have a problem with one and not the other, whether you're just going to the store or to Tahiti, you know? But I do kind of see the point if you're traveling, just to minimize spread to places that may not be able to handle it if there is an outbreak.
I mean, but again,
Because you don't have to choose to
why
travel, right?
I mean, you just have to look at things logistically, step back out of what we're in right now, step back out of the pandemic.
Okay.
All right, seriously, step back out of it. How many people travel per month just in the United States
A lot.
before COVID? All right, how many people were getting deathly sick? We already had the flu, which kills. And again, I'm not one of those guys that's comparing COVID to the flu. I'm not doing that. What I'm
Right.
trying to do is I'm trying to show that we've had plenty of reasons to be fearful prior to COVID.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
yet nobody ever took it to this extreme. We were not mandated to lock down. We were not mandated to not travel. Uh, you know, I've been on a flight to LA before going to Winter Nam with a fucking snotty nose, sick as hell.
Nobody said boo, right?
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. No, nobody checked my temperature at the fucking airport. You know, and here's the thing. I'll go back to my statement that I made. It is a real thing. It's a real
Yeah.
virus. We've had coronavirus for so long. The common cold is a coronavirus. It's a form of a
Yes. Yes.
coronavirus.
Yeah.
This is a new strain that I'll just go out there right now and I'll say was lab created to do exactly what it's doing right now.
Yeah.
If
Mutate.
you think a Chinaman sat down in a flea market and ate some bats and fucking
Yeah.
caused a worldwide pandemic,
Now,
well, they don't sell bats in the wet market, so that whole story was bullshit from
now,
the
Yeah,
get-go.
but if you look at how we did acquire disease from animals, you know, AIDS from monkeys, swine
we did
flu.
not get AIDS from monkeys.
No, wait,
Holy
it
fuck.
wasn't fun. Okay. I mean,
You mean
it
how
is
we're told diseases spread?
Okay, well, I remember way back it being blamed on the gay community, which bothered me wholeheartedly. You know, this was not a gay created disease. That was just so ignorant,
No,
right? So when
it was actually a lab created disease
it,
to weed out the gays and the blacks.
if that is true,
Let's be
I-
frank and honest. And
but
however,
it did come from a virus that affects monkeys in Africa that does not harm them.
where
It
do you
does not harm them.
where do you think those monkeys got that disease? Because they experimented on them and they let them back in the wild.
Maybe, I mean, but we also got the, you know, going back through time, plagues, you know, mutated
The
from
Black Plague. Let's go to
animal.
the Black Plague. There is you a naturally occurring Mother Nature fuck you.
Yeah.
It did not
Right.
fuck around. People were fucking having to put their dead family relatives on the
Yes.
fucking front porch for some asshole to come around with a wheelbarrow and take them away.
Mhm.
That's a real fucking Mother
And
Nature plague.
this is kind of what, you know, I thought at the beginning. If it is an airborne virus with a contagion factor of, like they're saying, we have to wear masks, it's in the air. Why aren't we dropping dead in record numbers like that?
Exactly. If this disease is as deadly as they say it is, everybody now you can pose it, you can go on Facebook and everybody's a Facebook fucking hero. And you say, do you know anybody that died of COVID? And everybody now is going to be, oh yeah, I lost 5 fucking good friends last month to COVID.
Yeah.
No, you didn't, you dumb shit. They fucking goddamn put COVID on the death certificate. That does not mean COVID caused their death.
Right.
I want to see the real people.
Yeah.
COVID caused their death.
Are you hearing this as well, Zara, like where you are about fake
Yeah,
numbers
yeah.
of being risen? I don't doubt that actually a little
Well,
bit, but
those it all over here because I mean, like I said, like California's been kind of like the experimental example, especially with like all their lockdown stuff they've been pushing and everything like that, and how restricted we are here and everything. But the fear thing is the really big one, and you know, you push that into TV, newspapers and stuff. And like, here's the thing: elderly people read newspapers. Like, so when they see this on a daily basis, they're going to be the first people that are going to be freaked out about it. And they're going to be fearful
of
about it.
course, yeah.
But they take away the physics of reality. And the physics of reality is throughout time, you are going to weaken your immune system by age, by stuff that you do to your body over time. And so if you make it and you were lucky enough to make it to 70 or 80 years old, then yeah, the flu might just kill you. Yes, these certain small common cold things can hit your immune system, and your immune system has been worked all these years that it's not strong enough like it used to be. And yes, you will die from those things.
It's
Same
That,
with
true.
coronavirus.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be anything. It's true. Do you
well,
think
anything that amplifies attacking your immune system, like you could be, you could literally just have a cold. But yeah, if you have something like COVID that's allowing people with strong immune systems, people between the ages of like birth, or you know, between like what, like 6, 7 years old, let's just say, to, you know, 50s as well. I mean, even now to like 60s, to where people are just having it for a few days and stuff. And you're seeing like the big actors, and I think Sharon Osbourne just got COVID like a few days ago, and she's been quarantined away from Ozzy, but she said she'll be fine and everything. And that's the actual reality of it, is we do have a virus that is literally
And
working kind of like.
it makes you sick. It makes you sick.
yeah,
There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I
But the
think
mask didn't stop it because we're wearing masks here. Like they're saying that California's having all these surges. So if we're following the rules, we're wearing the masks and we're doing the social distancing and all of this shit, we're following the rules. How are cases surging in this example state? If everybody's doing that, then that means that the masks aren't working. That means that the procedures aren't working. That 6 feet
social
doesn't matter.
distancing
You know,
doesn't work.
yeah, that
Yeah,
10 o'clock,
yeah.
you know, 10:01, you're not going to get COVID. You know, you know the time frames, and none of it matters. Like everything could be open and working just the same, because you can go into a Walmart with more people than you will go into because a library can't be open, or because a movie theater can't be open, or because a bar can't be open. That a place that can house more people than any of those things combined is allowed to be open because it's an essential business. And that'll lead me into a conversation about every
Yeah,
business.
like I said, that we need couple of these hour-long meetings to actually get down to the
Oh
nitty-gritty.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah. I'm up for
I
it, man.
could
I'm just sitting around. But do you think that the industry is going to ever get back? We're seeing also like COVID cures. Canada came up with a shot that's a cure, apparently. So I mean, if there is a cure, then maybe we won't be forced to take vaccines. But do you think like
negative. I think the vaccine is the derivative here. I think that is the end game. Whatever. Listen, I'm not even
well,
gonna
we've
like
known
go
about
any further
cancer.
than that. I'm going to say the vaccine is the end game. Whatever the vaccine is for, I don't think it, listen, they haven't been pushing for therapeutics or a cure for this. There's so many people, and every time that someone famous has a therapeutic and they've got better, it's swept under the rug.
Yeah.
The vaccine is being pushed. Now, why is that? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I
Because
don't know.
there are therapeutics, and you know, I mean, we'll get into politics for a minute.
I just found a thing last week. Vancouver has produced a cure after you've gotten it, you know, from mild to severe cases, you know, and it's dropping the death toll.
But
So
here's what I don't understand is how, like cancer, for example, we have multiple types of cancer: lung
yeah,
cancer, liver cancer, cancer of this. We haven't even found a cure for that. But you're gonna tell me something that we have never touched on, never dealt with, or whatever,
Brand
and in
new,
10 months,
brand new, baby.
cancer's a whole other thing. We have cures for cancer. They just don't want to admit it. I have multiple body tumors in my brain and my lungs, and I know for a fact that CBD oil injected straight into a tumor will kill it within days. Will they
Right.
use this technology on a major platform? No, because they make too much money from
Exactly.
chemo and
Well, yeah,
radiation.
Kelly,
you'll
Yeah,
Kelly,
make more
you
money
just
from
opened
people.
Pandora's box right there. Kelly, you just opened Pandora's box right there, and you basically just defined what's going on.
Exactly. Yes. So there probably is a simpler cure. There probably is a way to combat this a lot better, but they're forcing their one-sided money-making
Yeah, think about it.
thing down you.
Think
Yeah.
about how much.
Why do you think politicians aren't taking it? I mean, they're showing pictures like they are, but I mean, that's why they're not taking it. I mean, if there is some type of actual cure, they would have been the ones, hey, we need to carry on continuity of government if this plague goes out and wipes out everybody. So we're at least going to be the ones that are going to be taking this thing before anybody. That's what would really happen if there was actually a cure for this thing. But when they go on CNN and step back and say, oh, well, we're going to make sure that the rest of the populace gets it, and we're going to step back like they're some type of hero, like.
There is a case, a matter of the fact that Canada has only bought 250,000 of them, and you need 2 shots. So that's really only 125,000 doses. You know, there's 7 million people in Toronto alone. Who gets the shots and who doesn't, right? And I think if politicians and all the elite rich got it in the public eye, there'd be an uproar for that. So maybe that's, you know, some reason for it. But I also don't think if it is a cure-all and an end to everything, that the poor people are going to get it in any time that matters. It'll be another year.
Well, and there's where it becomes like a weed out portion that kind of ties into the re-beginning, I guess, and I think that's, I guess when we talk end game, I think that's what it is. I think it's the complete destruction of everything that we've known prior and a rebuilding of something that's in a way that everybody that is out screaming safety and help me will get all the little notions wrapped in a whatever package that the government decides to give them. But they'll be compliant, they'll be happy with it because they're the ones that asked for it. I think that, you know, with everything that's going on, you can't completely shut down, like lockdown. That's a term used in prison. Okay, like
No,
when
it's
they literally call
terrifying.
lockdown, that's a prison term. And so when you shut down an economy and you're like, all right, we're gonna go through 4 different phases, and then we're gonna make the judgment on what phase you guys go in, and then who can be open, who cannot be open, and do this over and over. It's literally like taking a wound to somebody and cutting them at the wrist and holding their arm out. You're bleeding country out, and you're just weeding out. And it's starting with small business, it's starting with collective gathering, because people think like, have you ever heard of the mastermind principle meaning where you say you and 5 other people sit together of like mind and you discuss an idea, and it comes up being the biggest idea and better than any one of you could have individually created. So you stop social gatherings, you stop gatherings in church, in religion, because there's people that hold faith above state or faith above country and stuff like that. So that becomes threatening to that solution or resolution. People discussing amongst each other, because we can go online and we've already separated. People have unfriended. Okay, you voted for this person, I'm unfriending you. Everybody can be separated in their own little groups on Facebook, but when they're together, you can't stop that. You can't stop somebody with 2 different opinions or ideas, and then they still shake hands at the end of it, and they're still like those things are threatening to the new day and age that it seems like they're trying to bring out.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets a whole lot better. I really do.
I mean, I don't know how things are up there, Kelly, but here in the States, there's a big charge that a civil war is coming.
Yes, and you know, we were talking about that too. Canada. What do we got? Some fucking angry hippies and some ideals. We don't have fucking guns. We got nothing. Our fucking voice doesn't mean shit. You got every freak across America who's armed. You know what I mean? When this comes to some kind of revolt, and I just see it reaching that. I don't want to say these things, because sometimes when I say them, they just happen, and then it's like my fault. But
no, I mean, it's been charged. It's been coming.
Yeah.
And like just this past year alone, look,
this year was preparation for that.
You would have to be crazy to look and see what was allowed by the Black Lives Matter movement and the Antifa movement and the entire takedown and hold of a city in Seattle. I mean, to see these things happening, and then your old-fashioned grandma and grandpa and, you know, Uncle Seth sitting by and just like taking it, it was inevitably going to come to a head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and that's what's happening right now is basically everything has been shoved down America's face, and it happened back in 1776.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, this is gonna have like repercussions for so long. I just hope that the artists, whatever side your opinion may be on, that you still, you know, try and promote that people use common sense, that they don't go to those extremes despite their anger. You know what I mean? That there's, you know,
I
if
mean,
we connect on Facebook or the internet just like this in groups and converse.
yeah, right. I mean, we could talk this out, but to be honestly, I think we've talked ourselves to death. And to be honest with you, I mean, as John was talking earlier, half of my fan base has flipped. Literally, half of my fan base has flipped. I've lost people that I thought were like, you know, family, cool people, you know, that I've known for 20 years. And they're gone, and now I find myself aligning with people that would have never really like
Yeah.
listened to the band, but because of they now see my values, they're like, okay, now the band's cool.
I
And it's
mean, that's unfortunate because they should be liking your band because it's awesome. But I think you're right. It's scary. It's hard to talk about these things, but I think we should do it anyways. But I do
And
think
I
you're
think
right.
talking points, yeah, you know,
Exactly.
and I didn't mean to cut you off. I definitely agree with you on that. I think talking points are a big thing that is missing that, you know, needs to definitely be established. People need to be able to come out and have conversations regarding whatever. Yes, I remember when I was a kid, and my grandma would meet people like in the aisle, you know, be getting bread, they'd be getting soup or whatever. And then we'd be in the aisle for like 10 minutes, and, you know, they talk everything from their day, gardening, politics or whatever, and regardless of whatever little debate that they had. The thing with debates is you learn about the other side, because you don't go into a debate just shoving everything that you know at somebody. I mean, you have to know the other side and be able to argue that point.
Well, I don't know if either of you were on the debate team, but they were like, you should be a fucking lawyer since I was like 5. And I love doing that, taking the other side and trying to argue it as validly or from the heart as,
yeah.
as like your point of view, right? Because it's not easy to do. It's not easy.
Without,
No,
without a
to be
professional approach,
truly
okay, or good.
objective is very difficult. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
let's admit we're all humans here. To
Yeah.
be truly objective is very difficult.
Something like this.
Um,
But I just think that we need to not resort to violence. If talking is the only way, you know, like and it's done and we're moot on that and we have a new plan. I mean, I hope you guys take the Canadian approach and just congregate like smelly hippies for a while and just do a sit-in protest, because that's all we can really achieve. You know,
well,
when we protest things, it's the hippie community that comes out, because usually they're the only ones who've got 3 weeks to sit in one place and fucking party. And really, that's what it turns into, right?
unfortunately, I'm gonna like, you know, I own a lot of guns.
I want to borrow one, man. I want to borrow one.
And I'm just gonna say something that's very important too. And I know you're from Canada, and you know, Canada's our brothers up north, and we love Canada, but here in America, we have had to fight since day one, to have the ideals and the freedoms that we have as Americans. And that is something that I will point out right now. Everybody here takes it for granted, but
Yes.
anybody that's not here looks at our country and our values, the ideals that we put forth, and they're like, man, you mean you can walk around and say whatever you want and nobody's going to say shit? Yeah, that's
Right now.
America.
With a knife this big, a grenade, and maybe a fucking, you know,
It doesn't
strapped to
matter.
your back,
If
you
you
know.
want to walk down the street in MC Hammer fucking pants on a fucking Tuesday night, nobody gives a fuck.
Well,
You know, this
no,
is
but I mean,
America. This is America, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
and unfortunately, We watch American TV and we think we have freedom of speech, but we fucking do not. And we don't have a constitution. It's not written. We can be fucking downright sued. We can be, slander.
And
You know what I
see,
mean? You
people
can
don't
truly say what you want.
people
That's a
do not
blessing.
people do not understand that fact, and it's the simplest, really basic life things that you would think as a human being you would be afforded these rights,
Yes.
but so many places around the world you are not.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? It's
and
really
and,
crazy.
and that's why
Canada being one
I
of them.
just have to say it is so important to like all these people and like people like myself to look at what's going on and ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice yourself for the future of our children? And I have to say I am. If I have to sacrifice myself, my music, my career, I know we were talking to Billy Sheehan, and he's kind of like, it's like, oh, what the fuck, about this vaccine. But I'll tell you right now, if it comes down to a tyrannical government, which is what we're seeing right now, I mean, let's be honest, it's time, sometimes the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of men.
Yes. And and I don't think we really even wanted to admit it was coming to such a head. Nobody wanted to admit it.
No.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants to really admit it now, but you're so right, it's coming, and we really have to think about what we're going to do next with ourselves.
I mean, we
When
really
you
need to start thinking how we're going to survive
Yeah.
and rebuild after. I mean, that would be the objective, smart way to look at things right now is how we're going to survive and how are we going to rebuild after.
That could be
And
episode 2 of this interview.
I honestly,
We got about 1 minute
I hate
left.
to sound like a warmonger here, but I could see something very beautiful happening after.
No kidding, me too.
I could see communities coming back together. Yeah. I could see people learning skills again together that have been lost by technology.
I agree.
And again, the last thing I want to do is point my gun at a human being and take their life. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm not a warmonger. I'm not some evil person. I'm pretty much a hippie at heart. The only thing instead of smoking the green, I drink the red.
Well, there you go. Because
the truth of the matter is, I would rather us all sit around and love each other, and it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah. And it's so hard to say that, but it's true. Do you have a last thought? We got about a minute left. Thanks so much,
John. I'll give that to you, brother. I took a lot of time.
Oh no, you're good. And I guess